the complete guide to executive condominium here in Singapore. Everything you need to know about this sort of housing option here in Singapore. Hi everyone, Casey here from Home Quarters, and if you think EC is suitable for you, you can schedule a buyer consultation with our team to dive deeper into the purchasing process. So for today, I will be touching on the 5W of EC, the who, what, where, when and why of the new direct from developer EC that will serve as a complete guide before you dive deep with our team on how to own one for yourself if it's suitable for you. We have timestamps so that you can jump ahead if you only want to watch certain section of this complete guide. If not, I urge you to watch it from the start to finish together with me. So first up, we have the what. What exactly is an EC? EC is executive condominium, and simply put, it is a public-private hybrid. It is neither a full HDB flat nor is it a full private condominium. It is to cater to middle-income Singaporeans who don't qualify for a BTO HDB flat due to the income ceiling restriction, but private condominium is too expensive for them. EC are developed and sold by private developer, much like the private condominium, but buyer can get subsidy from the government in terms of grants and lower land price. They look like condo, feels like condo, even tastes like condo, and have facilities such as swimming pool, gym, clubhouse, but they are cheaper compared to a private condominium. The reason that they are cheaper is because they are much more restrictive. EC are not private property for the first 10 years, meaning they are subjected to a more restrictive rules and regulations such as eligibility of the buyers, selling restrictions such as minimum occupation period, resale levy, and etc. within the first 10 years. After 10 years, they become private condominium. Next, let's talk about the who. Alright, it's a big one here. Who can own an EC? There are 5 factors that you need to fulfill to be eligible to apply for a new direct from developer EC in Singapore. The 5 factors are family nucleus, citizenship, age, income ceiling, and property ownership. For family nucleus, you need to qualify under one of the 4 eligibility schemes, and they are public scheme, fiancé scheme, orphan scheme, and joint single scheme. For public scheme, you will form a family nucleus with your spouse and children, if any, or form it with your parents and sibling, if any. Or if you are widowed or divorced, you can form it with your children under your legal custody, care and control. For fiancé and fiancée scheme, you form a family nucleus with your spouse-to-be, and you need to solemnize your marriage and submit a photocopy of your marriage certificate to the developer within 3 months of collecting your keys to the EC unit. For orphan scheme, you and your sibling who are applying the EC needs to be orphan and single. That means that you are all unmarried, divorced, or widowed. And all of the siblings that are single must be listed in the same application, with at least one of the deceased parents being a Singapore citizen or Singapore permanent resident. And lastly, for joint single scheme, you and up to 3 other co-applicants are all single, meaning unmarried, divorced, or widowed. Singaporean citizen at least 35 years old, and all are applying jointly as co-applicant. For citizenship, you must be a Singaporean citizen with at least one other applicant being a Singapore citizen or Singapore permanent resident, and all singles must be Singapore citizen if you are applying under the joint single scheme. For income ceiling, your household income must not exceed $16,000 at the time of filming this video. For the last factor, property ownership. At the time of application, you cannot own any other property, either overseas or private property here locally. If you previously owned a private property, you got to ensure that you have disposed of the property more than 30 months ago. Every Singaporean is entitled to 2 subsidized housing, meaning if you already bought 2 subsidized housing before, then you are not eligible to purchase a new EC from developer. Subsidized housing include new HDB, DBSS flat or EC, or even a resale HDB that you have received a CPF housing grant for. Another important point to note is that there are advantages of being first-timer applicant as opposed to second-timer applicant. You're considered a first-timer applicant if you have never received any form of housing subsidy or similar benefit before, such as selective on-block redevelopment scheme (CS) or HUDC estate privatization. You are a second-timer if you have enjoyed some form of housing subsidies in your lifetime before. However, if your spouse is a second-timer but you are a first-timer, you are both able to enjoy first-timer benefit if you apply as a couple. What advantage do you have as a first-timer, you may ask? During the initial launch period of the brand new EC from the developer, 70% of the flat will be set aside for first-timer families. Greatly increases the chance of getting your desired EC unit if you are a first-timer. Alright, now let's talk about where. Out of all the 70 plus EC from 1999, they are usually built in areas with lower land costs to keep the price low, and thus that is why you will typically see EC located at the outskirts of Singapore such as Sengkang, Punggol, Woodlands, Choa Chu Kang and Sembawang. Usually ECs will not be near to a MRT station and bus interchange, but could be near to a LRT station. With more and more MRT stations being built and more roads being built as we speak, transportation is rarely an issue if you stay in an EC. Alright, next we talk about the when. When can you purchase an EC? There are effectively usually 2 points you can purchase an EC. One is direct from the developer, that we usually call it a new launch EC, which is the bulk of what we are talking about today. The other is after the 5 years MOP mark, and we call that a resale EC. Launch of new EC is not as numerous as that of private condominium, with about 1 to 2 projects launched per year only, so supply is really limited. For resale EC, only Singaporean and Singapore permanent residents can buy, so you have to fulfill the citizenship criteria before you are able to purchase a resale EC. Alright, last but not least, we get into the why. We here at Home Quarters think that there are 5 big reasons you should consider EC as your next housing option. Firstly, EC is only reserved for a very selected group of buyers as mentioned in the Who section of this video. Some people view it as a birthright of being a true Singaporean to purchase a subsidized house. So if you at your current life stage is eligible for an EC and want to stay in an EC with your family, this could present you a great opportunity that might not come about again as your income rises in the years ahead due to the hard income ceiling imposed on EC buyers. Secondly, it is possible for you to get CPF housing grant for the EC if you fulfill the eligibility criteria. We will flash the grant table in the screen now. Grant is like free money from the government to subsidize the purchase of your home. Contrary to popular belief, you do not need to return the grant when you sell off your place. It is yours to keep. The misconception comes in because if you were to buy another subsidized housing, you will need to pay a resale levy. The rate is dependent on what is your first subsidized housing that you have purchased and sold off. The table on the screen is the current rate at the time of filming this video. Thirdly, you get condo quality at a cheaper price. When you walk into an EC nowadays, you cannot differentiate it from a private condominium with similar facilities typically found in condos such as swimming pool, tennis court, BBQ pit, function room, and gym. EC also comes with fully equipped kitchens and bathroom, as well as finishing that are comparable to private condominiums, as private developers that build private condominiums are the one also building the EC and their reputation is on the line. Fourthly, generally we see good appreciation, be it if you sell it after the MOP or after the full 10 years period when the EC is privatized. We have written a more detailed article that can be found in our website homequarters.com.sg if you want to dive deeper with Bishan Loft EC as an example. Profit can be up to $500,000 to $600,000 for EC sellers depending on when they sell their EC. If you choose to rent it out after the MOP period, the rental is comparable to private condominium in the region, and when you purchase it at such a subsidized price, the rental yield is generally better than the surrounding private condominium. And lastly, the fifth reason why EC. Alright, EC are designed to be family friendly and for own stay. If you like to stay in the development with the demographic of your neighbors being in similar life stages and lifestyle as yourself, and probably have young children to make friends with your young ones to socialize, or if you wish to have a community to support each other, be it to mass order diapers or milk powder, then EC is a viable option to shortlist. EC units are also typically bigger than private condominiums, with units starting from 2 to 3 bedrooms as opposed to the 1 bedroom in private condominiums. So this pretty much covers all that you need to know about new EC in Singapore. So if you are keen to find out if EC is suitable for you and your family, or wish to have more of your questions answered, do reach out to us at 8809-2889 or click the link in the description for one of us at Home Quarters to go through a full buyer consultation with you. Till then, my name is Casey from Home Quarters, and remember, call Home Quarters and start packing.